What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to today is October 20th, and welcome back to the Captain's Corner. This is episode 14, and yeah, hockey season's in full swing here. It's really exciting. We got tons of hockey being played. It's been some pretty solid games, some teams that have stunk it up, some teams that have been pretty good. So a lot to get into today, which is very exciting. We got full things going on. Today's just going to be overreactions pretty much of the first week and a half, talking about that. And then we're going to talk about just some injuries and some news. And then on Monday's episode, we'll do beginning episode news. And then the second episode, we're going to do our 32 rankings of the reverse retros because those were released on Thursday. And so we're going to do our full rankings of all 32 jerseys to see which ones we like best. So that's what we got going on today. But yeah, like I said, NHL's full swing. It's been great. Bills, but before we do that, just talk a little NFL. My Buffalo Bills are doing pretty well. They're going to their bye week this weekend. Some good games. They beat the Chiefs. It was super exciting. Josh Hurlin, guys, what can he do? So that was cool to see. But yeah, they're 5-1 going into the bye week. Get healthy, get some guys back. And besides Green, they got some pretty easy games down the second half. So as long as they can keep winning, I'm super excited for that. And hopefully we can get a championship to Buffalo soon. Super excited about that. Primetime games in the NFL have been so boring. Like I've been watching hockey and football at the same time usually for those games, and like they're just so boring. There's no offense being scored. It's all defense this year. It's super weird, in my opinion, at least. But yeah, that's what's going on there. But yeah, let's just get right into the early season overreactions here, and kind of we're just gonna go from we're gonna go through the East teams and go through the West, and then talk about the points leaders, and that's how we're gonna kind of go over our overreaction. But yeah, let's start in the East. We got Carolina in first right now. They played 3 games. They're 3-0. And yeah, they're doing pretty well. 11 goals for, 3 goals against. Like I said before the season, they're my cup favorites. I really like what the moves they made this offseason. I think they're a team that has been on the edge for a couple of years now. And I really think the steps they took this year, if they can stay healthy, they're going to be a serious cup contender. Boston's played 4 games. They're 3-1. Yeah, they've been off to a solid start, sneaky solid start. Team that you really haven't heard much about, but like you said, they're 3-1 right now, sitting at the top. There's currently 5 teams tied for first, technically with points, but obviously we have the tiebreakers in these standings. New York Rangers are another team, 3-1. They've looked pretty solid. They've scored 17 goals, but they've given up 12. So yeah, not as dumb as Carolina, obviously, but no, they're a team that's going to be in the hunt again this year. Nothing surprising about that. A little bit of a surprise here, though. Philadelphia, number 4. They're also 3-1 through 4 games. 14 goals for, 10 goals against. So nothing crazy. They're 2-0 at home, 1-1 on the road. Torts got them playing up physical style hockey. Rock'em Sock'em kind of just shut down how Torts plays it, so it's working for them. That's kind of how that team, in my opinion, needs to play. We'll see if it's sustainable for them. Who knows? It's kind of a surprise. That's definitely a surprise early on, but again, it's 4 games in. Who knows what happens a week from now? They could be 3-5. Who knows? So definitely a team to stay out, to keep an eye on early on. Florida 3-1, no surprise there. A lot of people have them falling off. I think they'll still be in the hunt. They've had a couple injuries, but they'll still be in the hunt. Pittsburgh 2-0-1. They're Pittsburgh. They're old. They're not going to dominate, but they're going to get their wins. Detroit's 2-0-1 through the first 3. Also, I haven't really seen them play. They're kind of just middle of the pack, still in it. Islanders 2-1. Older team. Let's see how they do this year. Nothing crazy for them to start the season. Buffalo's 2-1. They had a big win over Edmonton. Comrade 46 saves. 2 of their 3 games have been their goalies have helped them out a lot. Young team, they give up a lot of shots. Let's see how sustainable that is in the long run. But they've looked pretty solid in my opinion. In the periods they've played well. Washington 2-2. 13 goals again, 13 goals for. So down the middle. I haven't seen any of their games either, so I don't really know how to react there. Toronto's 2-2. Should be 4-0. They've lost to Montreal. They've lost to Arizona. Two teams, as if you're going to be a playoff team, you need to beat. I know it's early in the year, but you still need to pick up those wins there. So that's not the best look for them, but what are you going to do? I'm sure they'll turn it around. Just Matt Murray's out long term. Who knows the goalie situation there? Samsonov has a chance to become the number one, but I don't know. It's definitely like, don't want to be losing to Montreal and Arizona often, if you know what I mean. Montreal 2-2. They've had their ups and downs. They're a rebuilding team, young team. They haven't looked too bad in my opinion. Obviously the win against Leafs opening night, that was cool, but yeah. Ottawa 1-2, a little bit of a couple stinkers to start the year. Have obviously not playing their best hockey yet. They're a team that they'll be around the middle. They'll pick it up. New Jersey 1-2. They're kind of a surprise. Everyone had them kind of climb the rankings this year, and they've struggled. They haven't looked good. There's a Fire Lindsay chance going on, so it's definitely a team where you gotta watch to see what happens there this season. If they're off to a very slow start, Lindy Ruff could be on his way out for sure, in my opinion. But as of right now, it's still early in the season. There's no reason to make drastic changes to any staff or rosters. Like, let them play a couple weeks and then go from there. And then make decision. Tampa's bottom two in the division right now. They're 1-3, 10 goals for, 14 against. I don't know, they just haven't looked sharp. They're a team that they'll pick it up. They're a veteran team. They'll get going, and they'll be fine. Vazzy will get going. But definitely not the start they wanted. They have a big one this weekend against Florida. That's definitely one to watch out for, because then that could lead to down 1-4, which is a big deal. But then Columbus is 1-3. No surprise there. They're a team that I think will struggle this year. But now taking a look at the West has had a solid start to the season. The top teams at least have. Dallas 3-0, 13 goals for, 3 against. Jake Ottinger's been unreal, picking up right where he left off. He was great down the stretch for them, and he's looking great again. So definitely could be a Vezina candidate if he keeps this up with these numbers, because it's insane. Kind of carrying the team, which is, yeah. Calgary 3-0. They face off against Buffalo last night. Don't know the results as we're recording this right before the game. But yeah, so 3-0, 12 goals for, 8 against. Their team, I think they're going to be in the mix. So no surprise there. Dallas is a little bit of a surprise, but Calgary's not a surprise to me. Vegas has looked strong to start the year. The goaltending's been better than expected to start. They're 3-1 currently. 12 goals for, 8 against. I haven't looked bad. Los Angeles has played 5. They're 3-2. They haven't looked bad either. They're another team getting solid goaltending, veteran team. They're doing good. Colorado's 2-1-1. A little bit of a cup hangover, but they're also battling injuries. They're a team, they're just so good. They're going to be staying in the mix, so I'm not too concerned about them. Nashville 2-2-1. They had those 2 games overseas, so they got their 2 wins. They've come back and they haven't looked the strongest. I think they'll get going here. Kind of a weird start to the season with going overseas. I don't know. I'm not going to overreact on Nashville. I like them. I like their goaltending. I think they will figure it out, but who knows? St. Louis has only played 2 games. They're 2-0. I think they've looked stellar to start the season. Definitely a team I could see winning the West for sure. So I guess we'll see. Winnipeg 2-1. They'll be around the middle. I picture nothing crazy there. Seattle's 1-2-2. Rebuilding team. I picture them being the bottom of the standings. Yeah, they'll probably fall down a little bit once more games get played. Edmonton's only played 3 games, are 1-2. I don't know, it's crazy. McDavid's playing close to 30 minutes a game already, or they're 3 games into the season. It's not good. They don't have the depth still. I really like them, but they just, I don't know, watching them live, the depth isn't really there. It's kind of a scary thing for them, and it could be some troublesome. So definitely a team to watch, because McDavid can get frustrated with him, like one performance and stuff. He's a competitor. He wants to be the best. So definitely something to watch out there. Chicago is 1-2. They'll fall to the bottom of the standings. No surprise there. Arizona is 1-2. Picked up a win against Toronto, which is surprising. They're up traveling through Canada right now playing. So they play Ottawa. So yeah. So I think they play Ottawa tonight, Friday night. Anaheim's played 4 games, are 1-3, 12 goals for, 21 against. They're giving up a ton of goals. Defense look rough. Goaltending's been up and down, not great. So the team, I think, will finish bottom of the standings. Vancouver 0-3-1. They have struggled this year. They've been on the road to start the season. They're going to go back home and have their home opener Saturday against Buffalo. But team, very slow start. Like, no one picked them to win the West, but they definitely did not pick this. This is a team that's like, if they continue the slow start, look for some drastic changes there, because that's 2 years in a row with very slow starts. Minnesota's 0-3. Fleury hasn't been good. Goaltending's been rough. I don't know. I don't know how good Minnesota will actually be this year. Definitely a question mark. And then San Jose's 0-5, 8 goals for, 19 against. They can't generate offense, and they're not going to be a very good team. So, but yeah, that's all the teams. Like, that's the ranked standings right now. Technically as of Thursday, there's games happening Thursday night, but so obviously some of these there will be some changes, but that's the majority there. So that's the standings. Obviously, in a week we'll get a lot more clarity. We'll get some of these teams playing more closely, like more same amount of games, and we'll have a more idea of who the contenders are and who are the rebuilders. I think we have a general idea now, but we will figure that out for sure in 2 weeks, week and a half. But yeah, taking a look now, just some points leaders through the early part of the season. Assists, Panarin leads the way with 8. Rantanen, McKinnon, and Hayes all have 6. Pastrnak, Draisaitl, Kopitar, Brack, Makar, and Kucherov all have 5. Goals, Stamkos is out to a hot start. 6 for Stammer, leading the league. Then Nichushkin has 5. Zibanejad, Velarde, McDavid, Konechny, Kempe, Niederreiter, Rantanen, Pastrnak are 4 threes. Sorry there. I was not reading that properly. Zibanejad, Velarde, McDavid, Konechny, and Kempe, and Niederreiter all have 4. Rantanen and Pastrnak have 3. Then points leaders, Panarin 10, Mikko Rantanen 9, Pastrnak, Nichushkin, McKinnon, and Zibanejad have 8, Stamkos 7, Velarde 7, McDavid 6, Draisaitl 6. Goalies leading the way against goals against average is Jake Ottinger with 1. Goalies is hard till they get in the beginning. They have to play. I don't really look at goalie stats this early. It's just tough. They're just like so scared right here. Like Alex Stalock is leading the league with save percentage at 973. Craig Anderson second at 972, but Craig's only played 1 game. Defenseman points, Gostenberg's leading the league with 5, Makar 5, Fox 5, D'Angelo 5. D'Angelo's had a pretty good start to the season. Rookies, goals leading the way is Peterka and Pinto with 2, and Salo with 2. Beniers, Profetti, Neighbors, Myers, Johnson, Holtz, and Soderblom all have 1. Assists, Kalen Addison has 4, Beniers has 3. McTavish has 3. So leading the way is Addison and Beniers with 4, Peterka with McTavish with 3, Profetti, Pinto, Salo, Pierre-Oliver, Joseph, all behind. So yeah, some early season stats, obviously some scared stuff. So it will change. It will all change soon. Next up, we got some injury report talk. Obviously, some pretty key names are on this list, actually. To start, Patrick Laine is going to miss 3 to 4 weeks with an elbow sprain. So that'll take him out probably about a month. So that hurts Columbus there with their top 6. Montreal, Mike Matheson on IR, got MRI. Haven't heard much about that since. Landeskog is out 12 weeks. He got microscopic knee surgery on Tuesday, so he's out 12 weeks. So that's a big blow, losing your captain for 3 months, maybe 3.5. So definitely a spot to fill. It'll give him a little more cap relief till he comes back. Place him at LTIR, but give one of their younger guys a chance. But still, that is the one thing I've noticed with all these LTR moves. There has been more opportunity, like the Leafs placing Matt Murray on LTIR, gave them the opportunity to start calling guys up. They were able to call up Wayne Simmons, Nick Robertson, etc. They weren't able to do that with their cap restrictions before. They only had 20 guys on their roster. Capitals, Connor Brown out long term. That's all I got there. Ekblad is on LTIR 2 with a groin injury, so that frees up some cap space down in Florida, but they're losing their number 1 defenseman for probably a decent amount of time. And with losing, they lost Uyghur this offseason, that hurts the decor there. Then Muzzin was placed on LTIR for the Leafs too, along with Matt Murray. So a couple injuries there, giving some teams cap space, but they're also losing some guys, which hurts, but it is early in the season. Quickly, just looking at quick hits, McDavid hit 700 points in his career, which is insane. Guy's just an animal, puts up insane numbers at this point of his career. There's no Wayne Gretzky, but at this day of age of hockey, to put up 700 points, pretty impressive. The cap is going to go up $4.5 million next season as long as they hit escrow. Gary Bettman announced that. So it's most likely going to go like that. They're going to pay off the escrow this year unless something crazy happens. And yeah, so $4.5 million cap increase, which is pretty huge. Oilers hired Duncan Keith as player development consultant. So just to keep him around the organization, kind of start grooming him. Obviously, he wants some kind of front office role. Jacob Vrana enters an NHLPA player assistance program. Not going to speculate there. Obviously, just wish him the best. So obviously, he's going to be away from the team for a little bit, the Detroit Red Wings. And then the Flames signed goalie Dan Vladar to a 2-year, $2.2 AAV. After this year, he'll be after the 2 years extension. So he's this year, and then 2 years after that, he'll be a UFA. And that means the Flames are going to have 8.2 tied up in their goaltenders, as Markstrom is also making $6 million. So yeah, definitely something. Teams are definitely trying to lock up their twos, because as you're seeing around the league, there's a lot of movement on them. A lot of guys going places. Connor Ingram was claimed off waivers from Nashville to go be Arizona's backup. And I could definitely see that happen a lot more with teams sending guys down. So definitely something to be careful of. Just going to look up player movement quick, and then we'll get into our Caps pick and get you out of here for the day. So looking at October 18th, Caden Primo was sent down to the minors. Anders Bjork was sent down to the minors, cleared waivers. Nick Robertson, Wayne Simmons, and Victor Mete were placed on roster for emergency loan. Obviously, Colorado called up a couple guys with Landeskog going on LTIR, Martin Kell, Blide, and Magna. And then that's about it. Nothing crazy else-wise. So those were the roster moves. And then finally, just going to wrap it up with some picks for the weekend. Don't have this over-unders or anything, or the projections. I'll post them on Instagram once they go live, but these are going to be who I'm going to take money line wise, or maybe puck line, depending on who the favorite is. I'm taking Friday night Tampa Bay over Florida. I think Tampa is due for a bounce back here. And then I'm also going to take Colorado over Seattle. Colorado's just a better team. I'm going to take puck line there, -1.5. Saturday, Edmonton over St. Louis. St. Louis is riding high. Edmonton needs a bounce back. Taking those guys. Ottawa over Arizona. Ottawa's looking to get right. Arizona's coming off a big win. Not a very good team. So, yeah. Nashville over Philly. Another scenario. Nashville, get right game here. They're going to dig in, try to get a win, try to hit the reset button and get going here. And then the game of the weekend, in my opinion, Carolina and versus Calgary, going to be a very good one, in my opinion. Definitely going to tune into that Saturday night. And I'm going to take Carolina there. So those are my picks for this weekend. I'll have more for you hopefully on Monday. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. This is another episode of the Caps Corner. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Caps Corner Pod. Everything's linked down below. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Peace, guys. Have a good one.